The Taylor Guitar Factory Visit Customs continue to roll in, and today we've got a really special one that we have dubbed Andy's Attic. We'll tell you why, so stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
And I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you are new to this channel, where have you been? Make sure you subscribe, you turn on notifications, like our videos. Keep coming back for more. If you want to support the channel, you can visit our spring store link below for custom swag. And check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcast. We've got an episode coming up either before this video or after this video, however it falls, talking to Andy Powers. But this guitar happens to have something to do with Andy's Attic. It's a cool name. It has meaning into the build of this, but this was a fun guitar to put together when we were at Taylor.
This was kind of one of the most special ones because we went in with a lot of our own ideas. But when, somebody like Andy is just like, I got an idea and I brought this for you guys to use, then that's...
There you go.
We
Let's
gotta
hear your idea.
For it. Yeah. So why don't you give him the scoop, because that's it right there.
Yeah, so... usually when we go, so this is our second time doing this where we've done it on film. So we have film of this factory visit, photos of all of these before they were turned into beautiful instruments, just the raw wood, as they would say. And usually you go into the laser room and they've got back and side sets for us to kind of go through. This time was pretty cool because they also had some top sets that we went through, and we made some other cool guitars that we're still waiting to receive. Except that we did pick that sinker top, right? That went on one of the guitars that we featured on this channel, a Koa, master grade Koa GA that's already found a home. This was different because it was a top that was not in that stack. It was not from the laser room at all. Andy came in and he's like, hey guys, I had this and I brought it from home and I thought it was pretty cool and that we could do something with it. It's a really nice piece of spruce that's kind of been naturally aging that I've been carrying around for about 15 years or so. Putting it in my attic, kind of doing it the way that they used to do it at Martin back in the day. And it's kind of moved around with him and all this stuff. And yeah, it's a really nice piece and it's aged, and I think we could do something cool with it. And our response was like, yeah, what do you think we could do? So what was born from that conversation and Andy's inspiration is, not surprisingly, a more traditional style guitar with definitely some design that is throwback to vintage guitars with this beautiful H top. So it's a Grand Pacific body shape. We've got this Andy's Attic spruce on the top,
which is just cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah, that's wood that's not from Taylor.
You did a similar thing when you were at Martin. That guitar has found a home, and it was a really nice. It was a triple O. It was a piece of spruce that they'd had for like 40 some odd years.
Yeah, it was like bear claw spruce. They were like, this has been aging here forever. You want to use it? And I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing because so many manufacturers are doing torrefaction, which is a fantastic thing, but it tries to approximate age, right? It's not a replacement for age. And at the end of the day, as wood sits, and it's been cut and it's been dried, it's aging, whether it's been turned into an instrument or not.
Yeah.
And so it's a really neat way of making something new from something old. Yeah. So that's what's on the top of this. And the back and sides are, we had to do something really stellar. So this is also what they would call unobtainium. The official name is Cocobolo. And Cocobolo is becoming more and more difficult to obtain. In fact, we've had some manufacturers tell us you won't see it. For the foreseeable future, they won't have it. So when we visited the laser room, they had a wonderful stack of master grade Koa and they had a wonderful stack of Cocobolo. We tried to partake as much as we could.
Back is awesome.
Yeah.
That kind of arbor-y, red, brown, beautiful, rich color with some very cool grain that's pretty straight but kind of comes down into this, but a little bit of sapwood, and then on the sides, really nice kind of mirrored Cocobolo sides.
And the way this works, and you can see this in our footage, is we're going through these sets with Andy, and he's kind of debating a bunch of stuff, and it's really, I know you've talked about this, it was kind of educational to see how he approaches it, because he's looking at certain aspects in the wood, he's looking at what sides complement the back, he's also kind of checking the deflection of it, the thickness of it. He did a lot with the tops and was showing us, what to expect and what to look for and how it moved. So that's what happened with the back and sides here. We all kind of came into agreement of what would serve this guitar very well. Grand Pacific body shape, because that's what made the most sense for this combination of tone woods.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, before we listened to it, it worked very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a dreadnought, and it's a slope shoulder dreadnought, but having a great aged spruce top and Cocobolo back and sides, which that combo, spruce Cocobolo, everybody digs it.
Yeah.
We've done it with Martin, we've done it with Taylor, we've done it with Ferk, but that body shape accentuates all the big, massive sound that you get out of it. I like that we did the top pearl on it.
Yeah, we dressed it up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Andy, and he's done this on a few builds we've done, really, he's like, I think you should go Ivoroid binding. And the bridge pins, were those his idea? Or our idea as we were finishing up?
Hopefully both of our idea, because it's a good idea.
Yeah, so they're polished bone bridge pins that we went with the opal dots. And because, again, we're trying to keep a certain idea and aesthetic going. The Ivoroid binding, and then I love that we went with the Century inlay up the fretboard and on the headstock. And as we finished speccing it out, it was very clear what kind of direction this guitar was going in.
Yeah.
And I think this design really kind of sends it home. It's the whole package.
All the details. So matching Cocobolo on the head plate and also on the back strap, of course, Goto 510s. But I love that kind of inlay set. And then Taylor logo in pearl single ring rosette, but then the bound sound hole with the Ivoroid as
Single
well.
bound.
Single outbring bound sound. I mean,
You say it so much faster than I can.
I'm more used to the abbreviation.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Abbreviation. When you're abbreviating abbreviation,
You're done.
you've reached another level.
Yeah, you reach a whole new level. But
That's a mahogany neck, by the way.
I mean, thank God.
Yeah, it's not select hardwood.
It's no select hardwood. But this is a guitar that we brought out of the box today.
Yeah.
And it passed through a couple people's hands on the way over to the studio. Everybody was blown away by the sound.
It really, it rumbles against you.
Yeah.
It really does. And I think that speaks to a specialness in the resonance of this guitar.
Yeah.
To strum it and just feel it vibrate.
We had a D41 in here the other day that our tech Casey likened to piano-like tone. Just hit a bass note on a piano and just rings.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same for me. It's totally easy to play because that's the joy of Taylor, even with a larger body like this. Very easy to play, but it's like that sound just explodes out of it. So very nice guitar. Take a listen.
All right, so there you have it. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the sound, how quickly you were able to navigate to our website to try to buy this thing. Hopefully it's still there when you see this video. But, it really, it's a cool build. I think it's neat that, and I really appreciated that we go out there. It's a fun trip, but that Andy was thinking, about our visit so much that he brought this piece of spruce he's been holding on to.
I'm pretty sure early on, JR was like, Andy's got something for you.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of teased us with it, but didn't tell us what it was. And so it'd be one thing if it was like, I have this for you, and it's an idea for something y'all could do with this. But when it's like, this is from my house, and let's roll with it, y'all can have it. That is very cool.
Maybe next time it'll be oranges.
Dude, I need
from the orchard.
I feel a scurvy coming on. So, quick question for you. I should know it. Do the GPs come with 12s or 13s?
They come with 13s typically.
Okay, that's one thing that I noticed is because it's kind of that thing of, I put 12s on almost everything.
Because you're weak.
I'm just weak.
The leads are weak. You're weak.
You're weak. When you find a guitar that's got 13s on it, that's really easy to play. It's like a special thing. But there's also a certain tone. Like I like the way 12s feel on, and I don't have anything besides my Dread, which I do put 13s on, that I'm like, I need to put 13s on this. But I love finding a guitar that has 13s that's just smooth, which is like, if you look over at T5s or GS Minis, it's kind of a similar thing. Like you're surprised with how it feels. But then also there's a certain tone that comes from a guitar with medium strings like that. That's like, you're holding nothing back. You got every decibel coming out of this thing, and it's got that, but the playability, which I really, really like.
Can we geek out about strings for a little bit?
Geek it.
So I love that comment. There's a guy who is one of the admins on a Taylor Guitar Forum, Gabriel, and Gabe and I have talked about this. The O'Brien. And so we've talked about this. He's talked about 13s with a good setup. They feel the same. Unless you're bending, that's where the tension can kind of come in, which is probably why you like 12 so much. But it is an experiment to pair different strings with different tops. And generally speaking, I've always found that I like a heavier gauge string the bigger the guitar gets, because you're just moving mass. You're moving the top. And so when you have a little bit more tension from a thicker string, it's doing a better job of that. You can put 12s on this, and it would probably sound fantastic still. You'd have the playability if you wanted to bend notes. That would be better. You'd probably sacrifice a little bit of volume. But I've been surprised at times. Our good friend Maurice, years ago, got an 816, and because of the type of music he was playing, with the group he was playing, he was bending a lot.
2 whole note bends?
Yes, on an acoustic guitar. And so we put 10s on an 816 that had an ES2 pickup system. And I remember going like, we're going to try this, Mo, but I don't know. It worked great. He's been very, very happy with it. We had to make a slight adjustment with the ES2, but it was dialed in. So it's fun to experiment. It's also great to know, what the strings are doing. And to your point on setup, like the T5.
Yeah.
So I've got that old 335, that 90s 335 of mine. And I was really working and dialing in the setup while watching Bone Tomahawk one night, which, if you know, you know. Anyways, great movie. And then there's that scene. So I'm working on getting this set up. I dialed it in, and then I restrung it. I had been running 10s on it, and they just felt like way too light now. And so now it's running 11s. It's a very similar thing with the T5. I've always been amazed at how that is set up so well that 11s feel like 10s on it.
Yeah.
Regardless, I mean, it's got the same scale length as a Les Paul. And most Les Pauls, the 11s don't feel like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a testament to how well this guitar is put together and dialed in. And then I've got another question for you. We recently have reviewed the Gold Label. That's definitely a Taylor that is got an old soul like you do. So the GP was really the start of that.
Yeah.
And I loved that when they came out with a new sound, they had some kind of catchphrase of like, a new sound takes shape, or a new tone takes shape. What do you think? Because what hits me on this is this probably better than any other GP that I've played exemplifies some of what Andy has been going for with these body shapes.
I mean, it's got the same elements to the sound that I loved about the Gold Label, which is like it is bright and present, but you have like this underlying roundness
Like
to
this
it
width.
that's just like massive.
Yeah.
And I think that's why some of the other guys that work here that are always playing Taylor guitars, we're all kind of the same way. We play every single one that comes in, and so it's like you get used to it. And then when you hear something that's a total outlier, like the gold label or like this, it is impressive and it's fun. But I just think, there's different ways of looking at Taylor's line. We kind of mentioned this, but it's like right now it's gold label, builder's edition, standards, and studios or whatever. But there's also a different way of looking at it, where it's like there's kind of the modern Taylor, there's the old school Taylor. Old school will be Legacy, which I guess is the different line, not studio, but Legacy, definitely old school Taylor, and then stuff like builder's edition, ultra modern. And this kind of, with the gold label, to me lies on the spectrum that's modern ideas, but like putting all that craftsmanship to create more of an old school thing, which seems to be kind of the sweet spot, the Goldilocks for me and what I like from Taylor. But the best part is like the playability is present all throughout there. So you don't ever have to sacrifice, I love the way my 814 feels on the neck, but I want that kind of totally different sound.
Or I love the way this sounds, but my hand cramps when I play.
Yeah. It's great.
Fantastic guitar. So, as of right now, as we're talking on this channel right now, as you're watching, well, maybe not as you're watching, at least while we're talking, this guitar is available. And it's very special, and it's part of this whole run we've done. So, this is the fourth guitar to come in. We've had 2 master grade Koas, one that was featured on here, the other one that you may have been shown at this point, this guitar, and then there are a number of others. So those are really, really cool guitars. If you want to see what that's all about, one, you want to stay on this channel. So you want to subscribe, like, follow, make sure all of that's done. But 2, you can also check out our website, which is
alamomusic.com.
So you can buy these guitars online. You could also ask us any questions through our chat service, give us a call, whatever. But all of these guitars that we have planned will be coming in. Great photography. You'll see all of the specs. It's some really cool stuff like this. This, with this top, I know that day I was like, that's one of the coolest things. So
one of a kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have questions or you're interested, go to the website. And if you want to see the rest, make sure you come back here and we will show you the next time one comes in. We'll film it. And stay tuned to Alamo Music for more. See you guys.